And I go, $40,000 for a duplex? I said, how much are you getting on rent for that? It was like $500 a unit. I was like, this is the biggest issue with tech in the real estate industry, is adoption from agents, period, end of story. I don't care what anybody says is the best tech in the world. You can give these agents this tech, and brokerages don't understand how to get adoption from agents. 40% of agents will fall out of the industry over the next 2 years.
Cyrus Mohseni from the Orange County market, most recently featured $100 million a year, 30 agents. But what I think is fascinating about your story is that you make your fortune in my neck of the woods, Muncie, Indiana.
Hell yeah.
Welcome back to the show.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate it.
So give me the backstory of how you even found Muncie. This is what's interesting to me because LA is a very big, flashy. I mean, you're the first person on the show to wear sunglasses. Where's you got from the gift store down store?
No. I got them in Chicago.
So LA, very flashy. I mean, you've got really cool stories behind celebrities, big houses, but yet Muncie, Indiana, which is actually where I was raised,
which is wild.
Yeah. So we have a mutual connection that got us together. Muncie is home to Ball State, and houses that you can get for 20, 30, 40 grand. You found the market a couple of years ago, and it is where you've really made an investment fortune. So break it down. How did you even find Muncie?
Also, that Garfield was created in Muncie.
That's right.
Bob Ross lived in Muncie.
You're like a Muncie apologist.
Dude, I love Muncie, bro. So here's the thing is, what happened is this was probably maybe 8 years ago. I sold a luxury condo in Long Beach. And at that time, that condo building, now those condos are probably going for like close to $1 million. At that time, it was like $750,000. It was an expensive condo. So just a studio condo, right? And the guy that that was our client, he was supposed to sell this condo and then go buy like a multi-unit somewhere in LA. And so he, we sell his condo. We're stoked. It was one of the cooler listings we had because it's like all polished concrete inside. I mean, it was really cool. It's like a really cool building. And so we sell it. We break the record in that building. And then we're like, all right, bro, let's go find you a multi-unit.
Yep.
And this is when I was like really, really, really in the weeds of like open houses every single weekend, cold call every single day. I'm like pure sales mode.
So how many years ago was this?
It was 8 years ago.
8 years ago, you first got in the business.
Yeah.
It was super green. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm just calling. I'm calling 4 hours a day, door knocking 2 hours a day, doing 2 open houses a week. Like I'm just running it.
Yeah.
And so like everything, I'm just like sell. And so we close on his place. I'm like, all right, let's go find you the next place. So we go to find him the next place. And we start shopping, and then all of a sudden it was like 3 weeks in or something like that. As we've been looking at places, he's like, "Hey, I don't think I'm going to buy anything here." He's like, "I'm buying in Indiana," and I go, "Indiana?"
That's exactly how I picture people from LA saying.
Literally, and I was like, "Indiana, bro!" Like, I go, dude. Talk about equity. You're not going to make your equity there. Like, appreciation, blah, 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 like yada, yada. I'm like, come on, dude. Like, and he's like, no, I'm taking a trip out there. I'm going to think about it, blah, blah, blah. I have a friend out there, yada, yada. Fast forward, I'm like following up with him. I'm like, bro, let's go. It's time to get you a place. It's like 3 months later. And he goes, oh, dude, I just bought a duplex in Indiana. I go, bro, why? And he's like, well, I paid 40 grand for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, $40,000 for a duplex? Mm-hmm. I said, how much are you getting on rent for that? He was like $500 a unit. I was like,
do us a quick math.
I'm like, wait a second. Yeah, quick maths. I'm like, wait a second.
So what was the duplex going for in LA at the time? Or let's go.
Probably, I mean, maybe right around that time, like anywhere from 850 to 1.1 million.
So these numbers don't even comprehend.
Don't even make sense. Yes. So let me just put this in perspective though. My business partner, who's also a mentor of mine, Jack, he told me, Cyrus, you have to, every single time you sell 3 houses, you have to buy one. Sell 3, buy one. Sell 3, buy one.
Mm.
And I just thought he was like, I'm like, it's impossible. Like, there's no way I could sell 3 houses and go buy a house. Like, I'm like, kid, I'm trying to figure out what the heck to do.
Yeah.
And he goes, this is what you have to do. And so I'm like, pfft. So then this guy tells me this. I'm like, there's no way, no chance. He's like, dude, I'm doing it. I'm looking at a triplex. Then he goes and buys a triplex, and it was like 60 grand. And I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
So he goes, why don't you just come out with me one of these times? So I flew out to Indianapolis, and he's like, it's an hour and 20 out of Indianapolis. He's like, we'll fly in, we'll go, and then we'll drive to Muncie.
Yeah.
So then I Google Muncie. It's like meth capital of the freaking country. Like it was like insane at the time. Like it was really bad.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the heck am I getting myself into? So we go and we start driving around the neighborhoods and yada yada. He's showing me his place, and there's like bullet holes in his door, and he's like, yeah, but we got rid of those tenants. We got new tenants. They were gang members. Yada yada. Blah blah blah. And like we're looking at houses, and they're all burnout houses. And I'm like, what is going on here? Like, and then I see this like little house that's like for sale by owner, like $15,000. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Like, that's crazy. I could buy that right now. Like, I'll give him cash. Yeah. Like, so then I start looking into it. Then I'm like, all right, this is interesting. I go back home, sell, yada, yada. Then I'm like, I got to go back out there. So then I spent a week out in Muncie, stayed at the hotel in downtown. Because at the time, there was no Airbnb there. Like, no one had Airbnb.
What year was this?
This was 8 years ago. So what is it? 2017, 2018. Yeah. There was no Airbnb footprint. And it was pretty bad. Like, but like, I was like, this is interesting, right? Like, it's somewhere where I could actually buy a house. And the numbers are making sense, right? It just doesn't make sense in my brain how that's possible. So then I go out there, I spend a week out there. I meet some of the people from city council. I go to local restaurants. I just start talking to people. And they all see me as a guy from LA. What the heck is this guy doing out here, And by the end of the week, everyone's like, oh, let me introduce you to this guy. Oh, have you met Bill Lett? Have you done this? Have you done this? Right? Just kind of tagging me around. And then I felt like I met like a bunch of property managers. I met like different contractors out there, kind of trying to figure out how to build my team. And then I flew back. I'm like, all right, like, but I was like super scared because I didn't own any real estate, right? Like, I built my whole portfolio over the last 8 years, right? Like, of all my real estate, right? And then I flew back out there for a weekend, and it was that same house that I said was 15 grand or something like that. And I called the lady. It was boarded, like the windows were boarded up. I called the lady. I said, I'll give you $6,000 for it. Cash. We close tomorrow. I don't care. As long as the title's clear. She goes, no way. This was probably in, I want to say October.
Yep.
At this time. Didn't hear anything back, yada, yada. I get a call a week and a half before Christmas that year. She calls me and she says, hey, this is, I forgot her name, blah, 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 from the house. Do you still want to buy this? I said, what house? The one on Walnut here in Muncie across the street from the school. Said, yeah, I do. I'll give you $3,000 for it. She goes, no. You last time you said 6. I said, yeah, but now I'll give you 3. If you want to take it, money's yours. We'll close on it. And she goes, no, I'll take 9. And I said, nope, I'll give you $3,000. It'll close. You'll have your money by next week.
Yep.
I said, no problem. I'll call Indiana Title, yada, yada. She goes, no, I can't do that. Hangs up, calls me the next day, says, okay, I'll do it.
Wow. So that was your first one.
Bought it for $3,000, put 32 into it, rented out at the time for $500 a month. Mm-hmm. Now I rent that same unit for $1,250 a month.
Wow. And what's the size of it?
3-bedroom, little house, big lot. Like,
all right, so let me pause your stories, because this is what's interesting to me is that you can find deals like this all over the country. You could probably find something similar, I don't know, within 200 miles of you, maybe. It's probably a lot easier in the Midwest. But what's interesting about your story is that you first got into it from a friend who was already in that market. In that meantime, they were introducing you to other key players where you're building your team. So then now, flash forward, how many units do you own in Muncie?
I own over 100.
Over 100 units. And that's because of the system that you built in one particular part of the country. So if you wanted to duplicate this efforts like in St. Louis, you could, but it would take a long time to build up the team that you built now over the last 8 years, where Muncie's where you've built your portfolio.
Yeah, so we're buying in other markets now, right? Like that's the reality. What I found is like I think this C plus neighborhood is like my niche, right? Like it's not crazy expensive. It's exactly like you said. You could do this in markets all over the country. The thing is that I try to explain to people is like I really had to understand Muncie to really like do it successfully. I think that people can go and buy in these small towns, but if you don't really understand the town, you don't know who the people are, you don't like have those connections, it's really hard. Right? Like so what happened is I started buying in this in Muncie. Right after that, it was like monopoly to me. I'm like, I need to buy more.
Yeah.
Right. So I just kept buying, right? And like we actively are buying there. What happened in Muncie specifically that was a big difference maker for us was, and I'm sure you heard about it, is I think it was the FBI came in and cleaned house from city council and the mayor because it was all corrupt. When the new mayor came in, Mayor Dan, I love the guy. He's amazing. He called me. I was in Long Beach. He called me. He's like, "Hey, this is Mayor Dan Rittenauer from Muncie, Indiana." I go, "Oh shoot, what did I do?" I was like, "Oh my gosh, what's this guy gonna like? I messed something up." You know what I mean? And he goes, I was like, "Hey Dan, how's it going? How are you, Mr. Mayor?" You know?
Yeah.
And it was good. He goes, "I really would like to meet with you. I just came into office." He goes, "And you're an obvious player in the area, but what we really like is that every single thing that you buy, and you're making it nicer." He's like, it seems like you actually care about the community."
Yeah,
I'm like,
everybody's winning.
I'm like, yeah, I love the community. Like, I think that it's got every piece that it needs to be a great city. Like, you have one of the longest trails in the United States for in Muncie, that starts in Muncie. You have the river that goes through it. You have Ball State University. You have tech companies moving in. Accutech moved in.
Now, did you know all this when you decided to start getting into it, though?
That time that I was spending it, that's what I was doing. I was out learning, and then I become obsessed. This is like I have crazy ADHD, and like I get like super hyper focused on something, and it's like that's it. Like I don't see anything else.
You wake up, dream about Muncie.
Literally,
Muncie.
Muncie.
Yeah, we've seen Parks and Rec. Have we talked about this? Parks and Rec, the show. Yeah. So Jerry has a second home in Muncie, Indiana. Most people have a beach house or a lake house. Jerry just has a regular condo in Muncie, Indiana. That's what you're reminding me of.
Yeah.
So you got obsessed with Muncie. You start doing all this research. You've got Ball State. You're learning. You're meeting the mayor, and now all of a sudden you're an established player. Are you looking to do more than just own homes there? Are you looking to get into politics?
No. We're doing more development.
Yeah.
So we're working with the city actively to help redevelop. Muncie has this thing that was like never really taken care of, and the cool thing is I really do think the leadership is like truly focused on making Muncie a better place, and it's really exciting. Like so for me, like I keep buying, and for a while I didn't tell anybody because I was like, this is like a gold mine for me, you know. Like I go tell everybody, everybody's gonna go buy this stuff, right? What I realize is a lot of people don't want to because they're scared to buy in these neighborhoods. Like, but the reality is like my people that my renters that are buying or that are renting in Muncie, my property management company's amazing. But my renters, they're blue collar workers. They're not like this, like, you know, I'm in Newport Beach and they're doctors and yada yada and entrepreneur. No, like it's like blue collar workers. Like, so what I think is so cool is like I have one of my houses. I have a couple. They're a brand new couple, or they're a young couple. They just graduated from Ball State. They and this is historically, I think, where Muncie failed a lot is after you got to a certain age, you just left Muncie. Everyone leaves Muncie.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my story. I mean, I grew up there my entire life, and as soon as I hit 18, I got out. I went out of school there.
Yep. And so what happens is like these people go to Ball State, and then like you start your life, and then what happens when you're done with school, they all leave. And what's cool is what I'm hoping to do, and what we're doing is like we have these I have students that graduate students that are living in some of my places.
Yeah.
So we're creating more of a community.
Sure.
And like, how cool is it to be able to give people a better place to live?
They seem like
Right.
how Austin started building up. Like Austin kind of blew up in the last 10 years,
Yep.
maybe 15. It's because everyone from the school started their families and stayed in Austin.
Yep.
And a lot of like entrepreneurs and, tech and all that, like instead of going elsewhere to start their, business, they established a business and the family in Austin.
Yep.
That's kind of what you're trying to do in Ball State.
100%.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. Like I said, it has everything you need to be successful. I mean, they just built a $30-something million Y.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's got everything that a city needs to be a very cool city. And it's an hour from Indianapolis?
Yeah. So I loved your vision on this. And what's interesting about your story, and this is what I want to get to, is you're 31.
Yeah.
So you did this in your 20s. And if I'm listening to this or if I'm watching this on YouTube, I'm thinking, how do I get in the investment game? I think the price point that you're talking about is super sexy for someone in their 20s. They're like, I don't have a lot of money to mess around with, but this kind of model, they can do that. But you're still the head of a large team in Orange County.
Yes.
You do about $100 million a year. How do you decide how much time to dedicate to actually selling the home? Or how much time do you dedicate to running your team versus investing and buying? Like, how do you do that?
Again, my mentor, I've had a lot of really good mentors in my life. Like, really, really have gotten a lot of advice from amazing people. And someone told me one time, he goes, your job is not to be in the weeds every day. Your job is to be the creative. And I was like, no, like, I have to do all the work. I have to be the one doing it. But what is true is like a good leader, a good CEO of any company is a great visionary. And I think my job is to paint the picture, see the picture, and then bring the people in that know how to actually build it. Right. So like what I do very well is I'm a big believer and I stay in my own lane. Like, I know what I'm really good at and I know what I'm not. And if I'm not good at it, I will hire the best person for it.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I think, is how you scale anything. Right. Because so when it comes to Indiana, like, I have one of my people, like, he runs all of my projects.
Yeah.
Right. Like, he's analyzing the deals for me now. Right. Like, when I started, I was running all these deals. Now I'm like, hey, tell me what you think about this. Boom, boom. Okay. Yeah, we could do this. Yada, yada. Cool. All right. Let's run it through. And I trust him and I let him do what he does best.
Sure.
Right. The same thing with my team, the same thing with every piece of my business. I own multiple businesses that are all very successful because I let the people that do what they do best. And then my job is to look at the big picture and figure out how it all makes sense together.
So you're at the head of all those businesses, and what do you decide to do? And you say you get hyperfixated. You have ADHD, and for the last 8 years, you've built it to over 100 units, but you're actually looking at a development. What are you hyperfixated on right now?
Right now, what I'm hyperfixated on is I'm working in the tech world. So like we're building a pretty interesting tech solution for brokerage.
Is there overlap in all this?
Yeah.
They're using what you learned from developing in Muncie to selling homes to the tech that you're developing for a brokerage. Is your brain uniquely qualified to help with this tech project?
Yes, because of how I've grown my business. Yeah. So like with the tech, like I mean, brokerage as a service, like, let's just put it that way. That's the easiest way to explain it. But essentially, like, what if you're an independent broker that so the unique part of my story is I started my independent 3 months into me getting my real estate license. Like, very unique thought process. Like I know no one does it. But what I realized is I ran my own independent brokerage and I realized all of the headaches. And then I tried to partner with a company that said they did what this other company does and failed miserably. Our production went down completely as far as company goes. And looking at like white label brokerage as a service, and then like creating true tech that supports this is what I'm like super hyper fixated on right now. So I mean, imagine if you made a phone call as an agent, and that phone call you asked, I said, hey, Remington, how big of a house do you want? What size, where, what's your price point, so on and so forth. And you're like, oh, 5-bedroom, 3-bath in Newport Beach, so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, sounds good. And hey, you want to meet next week on Tuesday? Yeah, we'll meet up next week on Tuesday. Okay, cool. Let me know which ones you want to see. I'm going to send you some properties. And then all of a sudden, the system sends all the properties for you, sets an appointment in your calendar, sends a calendar invite to your client, and then sets up the showings for you.
So it's 7 different systems that already exist put into one.
Correct. Everything. What happens right now, and this is the biggest issue with tech in the real estate industry, is adoption from agents. Period. End of story. I don't care what anybody says is the best tech in the world. You could give these agents this tech, and brokerages don't understand how to get adoption from agents. CRM, for instance, like most people have a CRM, but how many times do they actually open it and use it? I think like building the anti-CRM, like what if all you had to do was make a phone call and pick up your phone and talk, and then it did everything else? What if it analyzed your emails, analyzed your text messages, analyzed your phone calls, and then now think about your follow-up campaigns right now. Right now we use AI to create follow-up campaigns. Okay, hey, what would I say for somebody that I met at an open house? And then what about a week later? What about 2 weeks later? What's the campaign? So on and so forth. And we keep going, right? And I build it with ChatGPT. What if we skip that step? What if it can analyze all of the data from your calls, your texts, your emails, and it analyzes all of that data, and now it can follow up with you because I just had a conversation with you saying you were going to go visit your friend's dog on Saturday. And now on Monday, it sends you a text from me saying, hey, how was it when you visited your friend Jerry's dog?
This is interesting because I didn't know we'd get into AI. We got a few minutes here. I'm just curious, how do you feel like AI in the world of real estate is going to scale with everyone else who's also equally jacked about it? Like,
30 to 40% of agents will fall out of the industry over the next 2 years.
Okay.
And the reason is because agents like me and agents that adopt AI are going to become way more productive.
You think 30 to 40% more than usual will fall out because they won't keep up with AI?
They won't keep up. Let me put it to you this way. Think about like 10, no, I don't know, however long we'll go was when the MLS went from the book to internet.
Yep.
Then think about when DocuSign came out. Think about how big that changed the industry.
Sure.
I wouldn't be in this industry if DocuSign didn't exist, period. Just that one piece, let alone the MLS being online, right? This is 100x that.
Yeah.
Like this AI play is, I don't think people understand how big this is going to change our industry. And all industries, by the way, like every single industry. It's insane. When you really think about like what the future of our industry is, utilizing AI, it's the sky's the limit, which is so freaking exciting. That's what I'm like super focused on right now.
So how do you keep up? I like to end the show talking about what books you're reading. And I think it would be appropriate because this is where we're ending today to talk about like where you go to keep up with AI. Like it would be, or what articles are you reading, what podcasts are you listening to? Like, how do I keep up as an agent? If I'm an agent and I hear that and I believe what Cyrus is saying, I'm going to be out of this industry in the next couple of years because I don't know anything about ChatGPT except how to use it like my own personal Google.
Yeah.
What do I need to do to keep up? Like what kind of resources am I looking into? What are you looking into?
I've been like any course on AI. So I get, like I said, I get super hyper fixated. I get obsessed with something and then I just go like, I literally read, watch, and view anything. If it says something about new development in AI, blah, 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 like every single page on Instagram, everything I watch and I read, and I have certain friends like Michael and Juan and like different, like this is what we talk about. This is my conversation with everybody. I'm like, so what if it could do this? How could it do? You get what I'm saying? Like it has to be. There's this story that, and I'm blanking on the guy's name, but he's super famous.
Michael Jordan,
preacher.
Billy Graham.
No, he's hip hop preacher. E.T.
Oh, Eric Thomas. Yeah.
And Eric Thomas tells a story that was like from when I was younger. I remember listening to the story about the guru. Have you ever heard that thing where he talks about like like the guru's like, you gotta want it more than you want to breathe.
Yeah.
Like this is like, you want to survive in this industry. Like that is your breath. Like you have to want it that bad. You have to study it. You have to go and find every single resource that you can. And so like, when you're asking me like what resource, I'm like literally everything. I don't care. I try to read, like, even when it comes to news and whatever, like I try to read right, left, center, everything, because I need to create my own opinion.
Yeah. You need to be in the know.
Right. Like I need to know what everybody's talking about, not just what I'm supposed to be fed over here.
Yes. There's a lot of wisdom in that.
So I think a big piece of like, for me, like when it comes to like what resources I'm literally anybody that's talking about AI, I'm probably in and listening and reading and watching. And if I can find a podcast that's some nobody that's talking about it, I want to hear it. Because if I can take in that knowledge, and then I can formulate my own knowledge, right?
I love it. Give me one book that was most influential to you over the last 10 years.
Oh, Richest Man in Babylon.
Richest Man in Babylon. Why?
That book taught me a lot about how to deal with money. Like how that book was probably single-handedly like one of the best books I've ever read. And I'll read it over and over again. I recommend it to everybody. I was going to say I read a lot, but I don't. I read one, but Audible. I do Audible. I know I read a lot of books, but I do Audible. Like my
good way to digest.
My Audible, I do like probably 5-6 books a month.
Yeah.
Like I'm like
driving.
Yeah. Driving
or helicopters.
Driving helicopters. Flying helicopters.
Exactly.
No, like working out, like that's what I do. Like I'm like all about intake of knowledge, and anything. If you recommend a book to me, I'll probably read it, even if I'm like, I don't know. Because if I could take one little thing from that, like one sentence from the whole book, I feel like it was worth it.
Well, we're sitting here, basically backstage, and we're going to see each other again in RP Elevate. Where's the best place we can find you online until then?
Instagram, Cyrus Andre, CYRUSANDRE. Connect with me.
Thanks for being on the show, man.
Hell yeah, appreciate you, bro.
If you want to influence who we have on the show or who we talk to next, email us at podcast@realproducersmag.com. We'll see you next time.